for Revolver by Kevin Connolly. Through a multiplicity of voices and attacks, maskings and menacings, Kevin Connolly conducts an existential research that only pretends to be jokey, only feints at absurdity. But this is not a light-hearted poetry of effects. It's a kind of stand-up comedy done with a flamethrower. In Revolver, Connolly works subtexts of suspicion, rejecting everything received and shaking the forms to get them to reveal what there is no language for, yet. It's a courageous poetic stance to leave yourself and your reader painted into a corner. But there's a door behind you won't find until you're pressed up against it. And in this superb collection, Connolly shoves you through that door and out into naked space.
Do you ever have those days where you're walking along and everything seems horrifying, like people seem misshaped and children are shouting at their parents and parents are threatening to hit their children and people look dug up and it's just awful? Well, this poem was written on the opposite of that night. I'd been meant to meet up with a friend and suddenly he canceled and I had an evening to myself, and when I went out to pick up stuff to make dinner, which I like to do, everybody looked like a film star. So this is about as close to a poem about joy as I can write. It's called Plenty. The sky, lit up like a question or an applause meter, is beautiful like everything else today. The leaves in the gutters, salt stains on shoes, the girl at the IGA who looks just like Julie Delpy. But you don't tell her. She's too young to get the reference, and coming from you, it'll just seem creepy. So much beauty today, you can't find room for it. Closets already filled with beautiful trees and smells and glances and clever turns of phrase. Behind the sky, there's a storm on the way, which with your luck will be a beautiful storm. Dark clouds beautiful as they arguably are, the rain beautiful as it always is. Even lightning can be beautiful in a scary kind of way. There's a word for that too, but let's forget it for the moment. And maybe the sun will hang in long enough to light up a few dewdrops, like jewels or glass, or those bright beads girls put between the letters on the bracelets that spell out their beautiful names, Sky, or Miranda, or Veranda, which isn't even a name, although it is a word we use to call things what they are, and would be a pleasant place to sit and watch the beautiful sky, beautiful storm, the people with their beautiful names walking toward the lake in lovely clothing, saying unpleasant things over the phone about the people they work with. But all of it just adding to the motherlode, the surfeit of beauty, which on this day is just a fancy way of saying lots, too much, skid loads, plenty.